Furniture is either like $2,000 or someone's like, just take it for free. Okay, so that's how pressure cooker
I've always wanted to can. It's a little intimidating, right? Because if you get it wrong, you're letting bacteria grow inside your food, which is bad. If you don't seal it right, there's, what is not listeria? Botulism is the bad one.
You ever get a botched job? Is that where botched comes from?
Botulism? Probably so.
You ever
From
have
canning.
botched
I would bet you're right.
When I pull the jars out, they're all kind of dirty because actually these kind of boil over a little bit as they're in there. But the twist cap keeps it down, and so I test every top, and sometimes 1 out of 50 or 1 out of 100 will not seal for some reason. Okay. Or I've had jars break. I see it right away when it's not tempered. I put it in a hot jar, so it tempers easier.
Smart.
So check every one of them. See it's a little concave right there.
Yeah.
As it sealed down, there's a rubber sealer on the outside. This is good for years.
Wow. And so it's just when the liquid in there cools down, it pulls that lid down.
Everything shrinks when it gets colder.
Yeah. But as it was heating up, was air getting out?
Yeah, you leave a little bit of air on top of it, half-inch air for stuff to boil over. So it's
okay, so you leave this a little loose, but then it gets pulled down so tight when the pressure comes down.
And it boils. There's bubbles inside here when it's cooking. Like crazy, like boiling water. It's just So it's really cooking good.
Is that the same with like jam? Like if someone seals a jar of jam, they put it in a pressure cooker. Is that the only way to seal a jar?
Yeah,
properly.
But you don't.
I mean, otherwise it'll last a week in the fridge. It's not airtight.
Right.
But do you have to use? It always uses heat to seal a jar. You have to heat up what's in the jar.
That's why it's a little intimidating. You can blow up a pressure cooker. You can do that wrong.
It's a lot of pressure.
But
a lot of pressure.
I've got a really good pressure cooker, so it's not gonna go. I've had it for 25 years.
Wow.
And I learned this recipe on a fishing boat, and I used to come home with lots of tuna, and I'd smoke it, and I'd freeze it, and I'd eat it fresh and whatever, and it got old, and then I learned this way, and this I have never done anything but a pepper in there. Some people put garlic or whatever.
Yeah. So you eat the jars. Yeah. You still give people the fillets as well. Oh, I have some of yours, I think, still in the freezer.
I do. I eat both.
You eat both?
Yeah. Nice. About every other night I have something.
So awesome. It's like, what do you think about catch and release fishing? Because I was saying on another episode, it's kind of rude.
Rude?
To just be out there fishing, just hooking fish. Oh,
throw
them back in.
Who's it rude to? The fish?
The fish. It's rude to the fish.
But it's polite to the next guy that catches that fish.
But is he going to eat it, or he's just going to double?
He lets it go for the next guy.
But we're just beating up on this poor fish for what? Just for fun? Just because it's fun to hook a fish?
We're letting the fish procreate, and it keeps the population good. We don't wipe out a river.
Okay. You're talking about you're out there fishing for fish you're going to eat, but sometimes you catch one that you're not going to eat, too small, whatever, you throw it back. Right. But don't some people fish? They have no intention of eating anything.
Yes.
They're only going to do catch and release. Oh, that's rude.
Oh, I've got friends that just catch and kill and they don't eat.
That's even ruder.
What? Why would you do that?
They don't. That's my best buddy that on the fishing boats. He's the best fisherman I've ever known. Catches more than anyone every trip.
Okay.
Never takes fish home. He doesn't like fish.
But somebody takes it. Somebody eats it.
Yeah, he sells it.
Okay.
He sells it big. He has a buyer.
Okay.
And he lets other people take it. He divides it up.
That doesn't bother me so much.
Right. But he just likes catching fish.
Right. But it's like trophy hunting kind of,
Totally.
It's just murdering the animal just
for a picture.
For fun. For the picture. They hold up the fish. They go, hey,
yeah. And the bragging rights, that's all it is.
The bragging rights, yeah. You ever hunt?
Oh, yeah.
What do you hunt?
I always wanted a gun when I was a kid, and then my folks would never give me one. Finally, when I was an adult, I bought a 100-year-old German Argentine Mauser.
Wow.
Open sights. I lived at Tahoe.
That's a rifle of some kind?
Rifle. Okay. 7.65. Big, war gun. That's what it was for. You
Wow.
know? And I walked around in the forest at Tahoe with this thing for 8 years, buying deer licenses. I never took a shot.
Because you never saw a deer.
I saw a few, but never took a shot. I just played Indian. I just went out and tried to.
You just wanted to kind of
Yeah.
sense their movement,
Yeah.
trying to see how close you could get. Never took a shot.
And if I didn't have the perfect shot, I wouldn't take it. I didn't want to wound anything and all that.
Yeah.
And so I never got the
Respect.
perfect shot. I took my safety off twice.
Wow.
And once I couldn't get a clean shot, didn't take it. And once there was a rustling of bushes coming towards me, and I know it's a deer, and I'm ready, and I've got the rifle up, I got the safety off. This thing's gonna come through, and I'm gonna blast him. I'm gonna get my first deer, and my adrenaline's going up like crazy. Out pops this little boy's head, and then right behind him was his father.
Oh.
He's right.
Oh my gosh.
That's why you don't shoot into the bushes, you know?
Yeah.
Oh that's why you want to know. I didn't even let them know. I'm shaking now, going, "Fuck, man," you know. And
You didn't let them know. I was
didn't
about
let
to
them know I was
shoot
there.
you in the
Yeah.
fucking face.
I didn't know you were in my sights coming to the bushes.
Yeah. You didn't say anything.
No, I hid behind a tree and they walked on.
Oh, they didn't even see you at
no,
all.
they never saw me.
Oh my God.
I was hidden behind a bush in a tree myself, and I was like,
Wow.
Wow, that is a nightmare.
it was scary.
Wow.
But
Because if you would have killed the kid, you would have had to kill the dad.
oh, totally.
Bury them both.
Oh yeah, and my gun and everything. You know,
Yeah,
so.
that'd be that. That'd be that. Tell no one. Wow. That
That's
would
a
be,
nightmare.
that is a nightmare. That is like
Well,
the closest call of all
well,
time.
the closest you get a close call, but finally my safety is off on the gun. See, the safety never came off.
Right.
When the safety's off, it's like, okay, I'm ready for action. You know, and then when and
Trigger happy, so they say.
But you were not trigger happy.
No.
I respect. I mean,
You- Yeah, almost.
I was
You were getting
I was
close.
playing Indian. That's how I looked at it. You know,
Nice.
and I always got so outsmarted.
but you were, had you been presented with the perfect shot, you were intending
Yeah.
to
Oh,
shoot.
yeah.
And for how long did you do this and not shoot
8
anything?
years.
Wow.
And then I went to
Not everybody's
I was like,
has a
patient.
murdery instinct.
Look, this is insane patience to be like, maybe today.
Yeah.
Maybe today's the day.
Yeah.
But you're just
No
really going on a
guarantees in
hike. You liked
hunting.
it. You like going out.
Well, yeah, it was around Tahoe. There weren't that many deer because of the population of the people, and I didn't go on long hunts, and I wasn't
Right.
guided. I didn't have that money, and you know, and
So since then, have you hunted? And
then I went to. There was like 10 of us went to Colorado on my 9th year, and one guy was on his honeymoon. He was the only guy that didn't get a deer. We all got him.
nice.
You know, I have mine's on my wall at home, a real nice big one. You know, and so.
And you ate it? You chopped it up and ate it?
Yeah, killing it was horrible. You know, it's the first one I killed and gutted by myself. Nobody was with me.
Oh, wow.
And when I shot it from about 80 yards or so,
That's pretty far.
I didn't even know where to shoot. Where do you aim on a deer? You know,
I don't know. It's
in the,
Chest.
in the
The
ear,
eyeball.
in the ear. No, he
The
had
heart?
a nice rack. I don't want to blast his head away.
Oh, you want to mount that?
Yeah.
So where'd you aim? The heart?
So where's the heart?
That's a good question.
I didn't.
Close to the balls,
I
I
didn't
think.
even know. It's behind the shoulder. I just aimed. I thought it was in the shoulder, underneath here. I just aimed for the shoulder. I hit the shoulder. You know, and I knocked him down right away. You know,
Because that's the heart.
because the heart's right in there. No, the heart's behind the shoulder.
So you didn't hit the heart. You missed the heart.
I broke his shoulder.
Okay.
He's down,
He's down.
And-
Not dead.
not dead.
Okay.
He's kicking his back and he's looking. You know, and I walked over to him. You know, and I didn't have a sidearm, and I just had my rifle, and I didn't want to shoot him again because the day before I saw one of my guys I was with. He shot this deer 3 times. And he ruined 3/4 of the deer meat. He shot it each quarter, and when a bullet hits meat, it just blows up in a big bruise. It just ruins it.
Okay.
And so I didn't want to shoot him again, and I had a rope, and I lassoed his horns, and I tied him down to a little bush there, and I had a knife, and I jumped on him, and it was hand to hoof battle, and I killed him with my knife.
Wow.
And
You what? Slit his throat, or you stabbed him a bunch of times?
I had to throw. I threw the knife in, and it was like, I'm crying.
Oh.
I've got tears now just thinking about it. I was
Yeah.
crying, and I was going, I'm sorry. I did it low on his neck because I've got his. I want to keep his.
Yeah.
I want to keep his head good
Right.
by his mouth, and I slit his throat and opened up his breathing, tube, and he's blurred, he's belching and kicking, and I'm talking to him, and I had written this prayer. I thought the Indians all must bless their meat, and so I got to do the same thing. And so I'm telling him as he's dying, I'm not going to waste an ounce of your meat. I've never done this before, and you're here God placed you here to end up on my table and my wall. And I will always respect you, and I'm sorry. And the other deer, he was like with 5 other deer, and they're all running around,
Oh my gosh.
That's what you want to hear when your throat's getting slit. I've never done this before.
Then I had to drag him. I had the horns on both sides. I had to drag him about a third of a mile across the hill, up and down, and I got to a barbed wire fence, and I left him there for the night. Because now it got dark, and I got another half mile to walk back to where our trucks were, and I know we can come back and get him next day.
You wouldn't think like a wolf would eat him or something?
There's bears.
The coyotes. So I took my T-shirt was all sweaty from all that. I took my T-shirt off and wrapped it with him, and I peed all the way around him.
Smart.
And did what an Indian would do.
Nice.
Protect him. I left my scent everywhere. And I figured a coyote's he's gonna come close, and he's gonna think it's a trap. And so next day he was okay.
Wow. And you had to drag him another like half mile.
I had somebody else helping me then, over
Nice.
the fence, and 3 of us took it for him.
Were you by yourself when you shot him?
Yeah, totally.
Wow.
And I'd stalked him, I'd done everything right, like I did in California, but there's lots of deer there. I came up, I saw these 6 deer up on this little ridge, and they all went down, and I walked around the ridge where they were headed, and I barely crawled up to where, they just see the top of my head and my gun, and, they don't know I'm there.
Wow.
Since then, I went a whole bunch of times to Colorado, and I shot other things, elk. They're 4 times the size of a deer.
Yeah, how much meat do you get off a deer? Like how many steak? How
I
many meals?
I brought him back to California. I didn't know how to butcher him then.
Yeah.
I took him to a butcher, and he sawed it all up, and we got all these steaks, and I don't know, we got a bunch, enough.
Like 20 meals?
Oh no, 100.
Oh, cool.
Something like
So like you could kill a deer a year, or especially an
yeah,
elk.
that's all. Yeah,
One animal a year.
One if you're lucky.
But that'll feed you pretty much the whole. I mean, you
Well,
eat a steak
not
once
lot.
a week
maybe,
or something.
Maybe you get 50 meals, but I don't know. You get a lot, especially out of an elk. There's a lot of meat.
Yeah. Wow.
And like I was going back there to this, we go in on horses. I'd go with my friend that lived there, and we'd ride horses. We'd drive like 6 miles up a dirt road, up to the end of the road, and then we'd ride our horses another 6 miles. So we're 12 miles from the nearest civilization, way back there.
You're a fucking cowboy.
Oh man, and set up a big tent. We're there for a week or so.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Look at you, man. That's the coolest shit ever.
And so I was there. I was at this Lost Gulch up in the Continental Divide, and I was there 1 year. And the next year I went in, and my friend had to work, and so it was me and the head cowboy guy, and like 8 other guys that had never been there. And so I become assistant wrangler, hunter in this area because I'd been there before.
Oh, okay.
So
You're the expert.
He took 4 guys and I took 4 guys, and when we rode off on the first morning, and I placed a guy, we'd ride about a mile, and about every quarter of a mile I'd drop a guy off and have him hide. You hide here. Go another quarter mile. You hide here. You hide here. And then I rode my horse all the way to the top of the mountain, try and flush the elk down across this clearing, and it worked.
Wow.
It totally worked. And so I get up towards the top of the mountain, and I jump like 30 elk, and as soon as they see me, they just haul ass. They just run downhill. I'm going, perfect. They're going to run into my guys down at the bottom. And I'm off. I tie my horse up, and I'm walking. I'm seeing maybe someone's going to come back. And a minute later, I hear shooting, so one of the guys got one, right? He shot his. He didn't get it. everybody else's. He could have got a bunch of them, but he shot his. So
Yeah.
so right when that happened, and I'm going back to my horse, and I'm walking, and it hadn't snowed yet. This is high in Colorado in like late October, and I look down in the pine needles, and here's a $20. Here's a bill. I could see green. There's a money sticking out of pine needles.
Okay.
And I pull it up, and it's an old $20 bill. It's been weathered for years. It's been on the ground for years.
Oh.
And as I pick it up, I look up about 3 feet away. There's another one. And the first thing that goes through your mind is D.B. Cooper.
Right. This is like some.
I got, because I am so far remote, And
Yeah.
I'm in an area like you think no one's ever been here.
Right.
I mean, it's.
Some like bootlegger hid their money here or something.
But the $20 bills are, they were printed 10, 20 years ago. So
okay. They're not that
But
old.
it had been outside for a while. It was weathered.
Wow.
It was quite weathered, and there were pine needles on it. At least one season, right? So I spent an hour. I didn't go down there and help the guy with his deer. I'm looking for the money.
For the treasure.
Right. I mean, and if there's two that are 3 feet apart, there's got to be a lot more. Or what is it going to be? A wallet? Is it?
A body, a dead guy, maybe you're gonna find.
I'm looking.
That's how Law and Order episodes start. Right?
I'm looking. I looked and looked and looked and looked, and then I realized, I've got some responsibility here. I've got to go down and help those guys. So I went down, and I was going to come back the next day. That night it snowed a foot. So no chance.
That's it.
No chance to
Treasure
find anything more.
remains hidden. Wow.
Well, so you hear, folks, there's treasure out there in the Colorado hills.
And Lost Gulch.
I'd like to look for treasures. I'd like to camp for a week. I could do without the hunting, without that
You
part.
hang at base camp, and we'll show up at night dragging a dead deer and throw it next to the tent, and we'll just go to bed.
All right, cool. I'll stay behind.
So a few years before I found that money, I was asked to go on a real treasure hunt.
Tell me about that.
Paul has fantasies about being a pirate. It's like his biggest goal in life.
You want? Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Okay. I need. Let's go.
Walk the planks. Here we go.
Okay. This is a story that I was told.
Okay.
I just built my first house, and I let one of my friends stay there, and he was on the semi-lamb. He was arrested for cocaine, and he was pending, sentencing or something, and I put him up. He had no place to live. I had just built this house.
Okay.
What
You were harboring a fugitive.
No, he wasn't quite a fugitive. He wasn't really on the lamb, but he was.
What's the lamb? What is that?
Oh, when you're on the lamb, you're hiding out.
Oh, okay.
On the lamb.
So he wasn't quite on the lamb
He
because
wasn't quite on the
he was just awaiting sentencing.
I had done a big favor to an acquaintance, and he respected that, and he knew that I was capable in the woods, kind of,
Okay.
I could camp out.
Okay.
I could take care of myself.
Yes.
Whatever. And
survive.
And I was trustworthy. He thought,
He thought.
No, I'm honest. I'm an honest guy.
You're an honest man.
Okay. He had been asked to go on this treasure hunt by his buddy, who brought in another guy. So now there's four of us. So I got brought into this secret little gang, and the guy, the first guy is a fisherman, big guy fisherman from Alaska. He's fishing in Alaska with Indians, and these Indians were on a reservation in Southern California. I won't say where.
Okay.
And they go deer poaching off of their reservation up in the hills above their homes, and they are acquaintances, and they don't. One guy doesn't trust the other guy, obviously, because the one guy falls in between down some rocks and in some bushes, and he finds this little cave, and he goes in a few feet, and he finds like an old lantern, been there 100 years, and a pick and some shovels that have been there 100 years, and he found a couple of like saddlebags of rocks, and he just pulled a couple rocks out of the saddlebags, put them in his pocket, didn't tell his friend what he found or anything. They go back, goes back to town. He takes them and got them assayed, or got somebody looked at him and said, there's so much gold in these rocks. You're rich. I mean, this is a find that somebody stashed and died and left there.
Oh my God.
So it's a lost mine. And so that guy told his friend that he liked, not his hunting buddy, this other guy. He said it's up there. These are the directions to it. If you can see our town, you're too high. It's between a craw in the mountains and it's not so high where the snow is, and there are boulders over here, and there was like 4 or 5 different clues to where this was.
Right. Treasure map clues.
Right. So my friend from Alaska went in there the next year. So these guys knew about this.
But why didn't the guy who found the rocks just go back and get the rest of the rocks?
Because he went out that night, and as Indians do, they start spending the money, and he got drunk, and he starts bragging, and he gets in a fight, and he got stabbed, and he was killed.
Oh my God.
So his friend that has just the directions to this treasure is the only one left.
Holy shit. Okay.
So the Indian's dead.
Indian's dead.
Indian dead. His Indian buddy has this information. He goes back to Alaska and fishing, and he recruits a couple other Indians and my buddy.
The cocaine guy.
No, the cocaine guy's buddy, the fisherman from Alaska.
Cocaine guy's buddy.
You're right. And
Alaskan fisherman.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. And they come down, and these guys said, "Okay, let's go get it." And they go charging up this hill, and it was nobody trusted anybody.
Right.
If they found it, they were probably dead, because one of them's going to kill the other guys to keep it.
Right.
That's part of why I was brought in, because I wouldn't kill the other guys. If we found it, we had 3 trusted friends.
So wait, you're part of that.
Oh.
You're already in?
No.
They brought you in and you went and looked for it.
Okay, those guys gave up looking for this.
Okay, so they did a search. They
and
couldn't
something
find it.
happened. The Indians got spooked. They got scared. They said, "Fuck it, we're out of here."
Okay.
My friend, the white guy.
Yeah, the
the
Alaskan
Caucasian
fisherman.
guy, Alaskan fisherman.
Yeah.
He ends up at Tahoe.
Okay.
The next, a few months later.
With his son walking through the bushes, and they see this guy with a gun.
And he puts together this team of us, and I was part of that team to go back. So we drove all the way down to Southern California from Tahoe.
Yeah.
We loaded up. We bought packs. We bought food, dry food, everything. And our plan was to go in for 10 days, find it. Well, we'll spend 10 days in there.
And this is while the cocaine guy is waiting his sentencing or whatever.
Yeah.
Is he with you?
Yeah, he's with us.
Okay, so it's the Alaskan fisherman, the convicted felon, Randy,
Yeah.
and
Clark, the 4th guy.
Clark. Who's
Yeah.
Clark?
Clark was another guy from Tahoe.
Okay, and Clark from Tahoe.
Yeah.
Another bro.
So the 4 of you,
Yeah.
Tahoe boys,
Tony,
the Tahoe gang.
There's Tony. There's
Who's Tony? Tony's
the guy from Alaska.
Okay, we got Tony, the
Big
fisherman
Tony.
in Alaska.
Big Tony.
Big Tony.
Big Tony.
Yeah, Big Tony. And he recruited my friend. He recruited Clark, and my friend
Tahoe Clark.
and my other friend Robert.
Cocaine Robert.
Robert, the artist. He's an artist. Robert. Guy never had an honest job in his life, but he's an artist. But he can paint. He's
Okay.
he's an artist.
And he's the cocaine guy.
Yeah.
Cocaine Robert, Big
Yeah.
Tony from Alaska,
Right.
Clark from Tahoe,
And
Randy.
And Randy.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Randy, the
Okay.
nudist tennis champion.
Yeah. So we're in there, and we think if we'll just go up, we went off so half-assed. Right? We spent the whole day going through the bushes and the scrubs up this steep mountain, over the top and down into a little draw where we made our first camp. It took us all day long. We got dropped off in the dark. Started first thing in the morning. It took us all day to go up this mountain through the scrub, and made our camp. And now we're just about out of water. From the water we took in there. And we never thought about we're going to need water for 10 days.
Oh.
So we start looking around on our first day. The next day, and 2 little draws over. There's like all these little drainages of creeks, dry creeks. 2 over, there was some moss, and there was water, a water source. And I dug in there, and I stuck like a stick, a curved stick into the ground, and water would drip out. into our canteens. And so we had I made a little faucet there
Spigot.
in the ground, a little spigot.
You are a good guy to bring around.
And so we had we just left our canteens there to fill up, and so that was a 10-minute walk or so from our little camp that we made, and so we had a source of water. Because otherwise we'd have had to give up, and we might not have made it 2 days, without water. So our thought was, we're just going to we'll stay together. We'll stay about 20 feet apart, and we're just going to hunt, just search this hillside, just almost be able to touch each other, and we'll find this little hole this guy fell in. So that was our deal the first day. Every day we did this. Start off 20 feet away, just and we're just going to sweep the mountain, go and just work.
Not miss anything.
Just cover everything.
Right.
We'd get about 100 yards. One guy would go this way, another guy would go that way, one guy would go this way. We all end up by ourselves.
Sure. It's hard to walk in a straight line in the mountains.
Together at the same pace and all that stuff.
Parallel.
That never worked.
Difficult.
Never worked.
Yeah.
So we end up just covering, just zigzagging, alone on the way and all that. And we made it, and sometimes we'd be late in the day, and we'd be very high, and we could see the town about 5 miles away, and there was this blinking light, cold beer. Cold beer. We couldn't read it.
Calling your name, just like
we knew that we'd pass this little bar on the way up there. It was like a pool hall.
But if you can see town, aren't you too high? Don't you need to go back down?
Yeah, so we're down. It's,
I remember
Good job, Pirate Paul.
I paid attention
so
to
we're
the map.
up. So when you're sometimes we got up too far. So we knew where town was, and we're thirsty, and we're supposed to get picked up in 10 days. We had a friend, that lived nearby where we left our cars and stuff, and he was going to pick us up in 10 days. We made it 9 days. And two guys walked out to that bar, and the other two of us, we checked out another part of the mountain, and then by then, when I was up high, I found a road. We could drive in to about a half-mile walk down.
Oh, yeah.
And I could camp at my truck. I didn't have to go up that huge thing. So I found a fire road that I could drive my truck in, that was up high, and we could walk down to where we thought this place was, and I went back 2 more times, So we called our friend after 9 days, come get us. We were just black. There was all this, the place that had fires through there, and we were so dirty. And I'd left my gun. The whole time I've got a 38 on my hip and a 22 rifle because we know Indians are nearby, and one guy's already dead, and who knows about this place? There might be other people looking for it. Who knows? So we were everybody had a gun.
Was there trust within your group, or did you not? You trusted Big Tony and Carl.
Yeah, I did.
And this is
Cocaine
on a
Robert.
reservation?
It's on. This was on National Forest, but it was adjacent to a reservation.
Just off the res.
Right.
So the Indian guys weren't even supposed to be hunting there.
Native American guys.
The Native American fellas weren't supposed
Should
to
we?
be
Shall we?
hunting
No.
on that land because it's
They were getting poaching
kinda
deer out of
stepped out.
season,
Yeah,
right? And
okay.
so they were illegal, but.
yeah. But they were getting away with it.
So I went and
Okay.
I took the map of the area to a psychic the
Yeah.
next year, and she said, you guys are about a mile away from it. It's down here.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. That'd be too slow.
Well, how long after that first look did you sit down with the psychic?
About a year.
A year later.
Yeah.
So this is just eating away at you a little bit.
Yeah,
It's out there.
Yeah,
You gotta-
I'm going back. No, I'm going, and all that stuff. And so
Yeah.
never had to go back. Then.
So you told the psychic, I'm looking for treasure, I can't find it?
Yeah, is it around here? And I said, this is where we looked, and this is where we camped. She says, no, it's over here. Yeah, it's there, but it's down here.
Okay.
So she gave me an area where and so fast forward 30 years, okay, and that guy Robert gets a hold of me.
Cocaine Robert.
Yeah, the artist.
He's out of
in
prison.
San Diego. He's out of prison. He's in San Diego. He gets a hold of me. He finds me. He goes, let's go back to the mine. Let's go to the mine, And on the way up to this place, a mile or 2 miles away from it, there was this old, there was a water tower. So that we know at the water tower is the fork, and so
This is 30 years later.
at least 30 years, 35 years later.
Yeah. Wow.
At this about 10 years ago, I said, let's go in there, let's go, And now he's not in such good shape, and I'm okay. and he didn't have a trustworthy car, so he came up to my place, and
That Toyota
by
truck.
by the desert. No, I mean my Subaru.
Ah.
My little Subaru Impreza. Let's drive up there from what we remember. It's been 40 years. Let's find this, So we drive up there. We both have different ideas about, turn left, turn right. No, it's,
Right,
and I have better maps now, and I Google Earth.
Sure.
All this stuff, a phone. And we get to where the water tower is supposed to be, because there's the fork in the road, and there's a patch of grass, and where I said, this is where it was. And on the map, this is where it's supposed to be. No, it's someplace else he's going. I said, he wants to turn right. And I said, I wasn't sharing with him about the psychic. I said, let's try it this way, So I turn left and go down, around, and stay low. And I cross a creek, which is about a mile below the spring where I was my water source, way up high.
Yeah.
The water was in the ground, and it finally comes out down low.
Okay.
And across the creek, and we took some buckets of dirt, sand out of that creek for samples, and we walked around and whatever, and tested it. And we got back, and we found gold dust.
Wow.
So I know I'm onto something, So I Google Earth the thing.
Yeah.
And I look about a quarter mile up from where it crosses this road. I think I see tailings from an old mine.
Whoa.
Right. And so I found it with Google Earth. I know where it is, and I haven't been back.
What?
Yeah.
Let's go. Paul's
go,
so excited.
Let's go. How far
Wait,
of a
this
drive
feels-
are we talking from here?
Can you edit this?
Yeah, I'll edit. We'll bleep it. Randy,
I'm
let's
busy this
go.
weekend, but after that, I'm free.
Yeah, I'm around in June and July.
That's a heat. That's when it's hot and there's snakes out and shit and whatnot. Well, we can go. We can find a way. It'd be nice. to go
Because
right
you wouldn't
now.
even have to camp, right?
No.
It'd be like a day trip.
Yeah. Just have to park on the side. Of
I
the
would
trail.
love to go on that adventure.
Let's go.
So I want to go I still want to go back there, right? And my wife says, no, it's too dangerous. I said, no, it's an adventure.
What's the danger?
It's an adventure. What is that? I know. I've already done it on foot from miles away.
Yeah.
And now
Not
I
like
can
in a
drive,
minefield or
now I
anything.
can drive right to it, and there's snakes, shit, you just yeah.
What do you do with snakes? You just shoo them off?
Yeah.
Well, they're scared of you.
Yeah.
And they hear you coming.
But we were really scared of snakes then, and when,
Mm-hmm.
we're prepared. I had leather leggings and armings, armbands, and I don't know. And if you got bit, and you didn't have a car nearby, you'd be in danger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure.
And with a car nearby, it's still bad.
You got to get moving.
Yeah, you gotta. We didn't have phones back then, and there was just the talk of someday there's going to be mobile phones.
Really?
Yeah, we had that talk. This was
Because everything was wired. There wasn't even a wireless home phone.
This was in 1978
Okay, no, there was no wireless home
and
phone.
79, and then I bought a Chevy truck, a yellow one that would fit in with be sort of camouflage. That's what I was driving back later. I'd sold a couple houses. Had my first nice truck, and I went in there 3 times, I think.
We gotta get there.
I don't even know if I should release this episode. Do you think someone could figure it out from that?
No, we know. I know right where it is.
You know right where it is.
And I couldn't find it. Anybody can hear this, and
Okay.
and then and here it's outside the town of Wrightwood, and
It's just north of Bakersfield there.
yeah, it's up. It's just off the 5.
That
Yeah, it's
exact
on the 5 by
town, yeah.
Bakersfield. Wow.
I don't actively want to be a pirate, but I do like the idea of treasure hunting.
What are the city
I
slickers?
am a bit of a map lover. Like, that is a fun game to play, treasure hunting.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we should look on Google Earth. I'll share it with you. I love you. I trust you.
I won't go without you.
I trust you. And so with advanced technology
trust-
that we have, right?
do we trust
No,
that?
with the advanced
I know, I'm like,
technology
what?
of stuff, we look and see right where can we park, where can we walk,
Yeah,
and
we'll
all
map it
that.
out.
Yeah. And so you don't make any wrong turns. So that when I went back, like 10,
no disagreements about the turns. We'll get right there.
So when it was like 10 to 12 years ago when I went back, we drove all the fire roads and ended up where I camped that one time, and it was all the way down lower, much better. And I'm thinking, so the story had it. This was that this old miner from Norway, or one of the North European countries, had come over, and it was after the California gold rush.
Yeah.
And he was in California by himself, and he had some burros. And this guy came into town with a bunch of gold and cashed it in and got a bunch of money, and said he's going back home and getting his family. Come back here. He left enough to when he comes back to California, they'll be set.
And he never made it back.
And they never made it back.
Oh, wow.
So
that's a story you heard?
That's the story we heard. That's the legend we heard.
Could someone look that up? Should I cut that out?
Nah, I don't think so. I think you can. Yeah, no, I think anyone can know that.
Well, they can't just look up Norway guy. Is that a story that'll lead them to
That's
it?
a private story.
That's a private story.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay, you can't Google that.
No.
Wow.
Wow,
Amazing.
is right. That's
That
really
is a-
intriguing.
Epic story with quite a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So the guy ends up in Mojave.
Yeah.
With all this gold, and he covered his tracks so they couldn't go back and find his buried stuff. So over the years, I thought, I'm going to get rich on the story, not the gold. A movie, a television, a series, a series,
Yeah,
and
it's a
whatever.
good story.
And then when I was on this, I was on Deadwood,
Yeah.
And so
He was an extra on Deadwood. He was a real cowboy.
So I was a featured extra on Deadwood, and I got to meet one of the best screenwriters of all time, David Milch, and this guy's brilliant, with his words and everything and all, and David was trying to teach people how to write, and I want to learn how to write. I got a story I want to put down. I'll need to how to write this with somebody who's really a good writer, but I want to be able to put it together. I was writing an episode for Deadwood that was based upon my real life experience with this lost treasure.
Yeah.
And then Deadwood was supposed to last 5 years, and it got cut at 3, and so I never got a chance to get that
Wow.
that episode kind of.
But cowboys are always in style.
I feel
And
like they're
treasure
actually
hunting.
having a moment right now with
Yeah.
Beyonce is making this
A comeback,
interest.
huh?
Yeah,
But
well,
let's get the treasure
she made
first.
a country album.
Let's get the treasure. Then we got a nice, clean ending,
We need the treasure.
and we'll split it up.
I'd take some gold shake from the soil. I
it'll
don't need
just
the
be
whole
fun
bag of treasure.
to treasure hunt and to find it. It doesn't even matter what it's worth, but if you find it, it's like so
So
exciting.
you get
Really cool.
we make a little so it made much more sense that this guy 100 years ago 140 years ago went in there with his burros and all that and was on water down at the stream, not way up where we were looking for the 9 days before. We never figured that out. We weren't smart enough to narrow it down. We were in the wrong zone. We were just going off of the directions from the dead
Right.
Indian.
You weren't really thinking so logically about where he would hide it. You were just like, let's just cover all the ground.
Right. We just heard where it was, and then later on I figured it just makes sense that it would be there because a guy wouldn't be looking there. There's no water.
Right.
He's down on a stream where he can pan it and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow.
And the guy walked up the stream till he found gold. That's how you find gold. You walk up a stream, testing it, and once you locate it, then it is someplace sideways from that stream, and it's finding its way to the stream right there, and you go up the hill.
It's like a vein, right? Like it kind of like.
Yeah, it'll figure, and so then it'll be someplace near there, but off,
Wow.
So you just go test the stream until it gets rich, and then you go off from there, and then
Amazing story. Let's go look for it.
We should check the calendar before you leave. We should get something on
June or July, we're around.
Yeah.
And well, whatever. We'll figure it out. Damn. Wait, so I want to go back to like predictions of technology when you're living in the 70s. You said, oh, someday they'll have mobile phones.
We heard, one guy said, yeah, someday there'll be like mobile phones. Mm-hmm. That's basically what it was.
And what's your reaction when they say that?
How's that going to work? You know?
I still don't know how it works.
No. Is that going to be like a radio off of a radio tower or whatever? No, you know? No, we had no idea it'd be off satellites.
Yeah. But it does use cell towers too, right?
Yeah,
you do need a tower somewhere.
It's reflected off of cell tower. The cell tower then is the power to the satellite.
Wow. What other like technology did you think would happen in your life, or what technology has really like surprised you the most?
Just the fact that it seems as though every year throughout time, let's say start in 1960, you know, from 1960 to the year 2000, every year technology grows tenfold. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. The you know, and so the limits are the boundaries are unlimited as far as it's beyond comprehension.
Mm-hmm. If you took modern technology back to 1960, Randy, you meet yourself in 1960. You can show yourself. What do you think would blow your mind the most? Like FaceTime, a Tesla, like
everything.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, huh?
Yeah, even in 1960, that was so much more modern than 1940. You know. And then to 1980, if you go 20 years, and then 2000, just the leapfrogging of advanced technology is just, it's mind-blowing.
Yeah.
So what they're working on now it's just, you know, I have a friend, graduated with an engineering degree, from Cal Poly about 5 years ago. And he was recruited, and he's working for a bomb-making company. Mm-hmm. You know, basically it's a top secret Raytheon. You know, and it's big. And one of my buddies from the club is one of the executives of Raytheon. He goes to Washington D.C. six times a year to meet at the Pentagon, selling the product that they're making. You know, wow. And my friend, and I said, oh, one of my hunting buddies from Colorado. His son was just hired out of college, and he said, "Oh yeah, we hired 10,000 engineers last year."
Wow,
that blows my mind. They're producing so much.
Whatever is happening, they have 10,000 people added to their team this year.
Young brains, You know, they cherry picked the smart guys.
Right, but they've added 10,000.
Yeah.
So there's maybe already 50,000 people working there.
Yeah. And so all I know is that my friend, the kid, you know, he's working on something to do with what's it called? How you locate something on
GPS.
GPS.
Yeah, global positioning.
Yeah, global positioning stuff. And so it's a GPS technology. You know, they're putting all that stuff in bombs and bullets and whatever, you know, and that's basically what his job is.
Wow.
He can't tell his parents what he's doing except for that much. You know, he's working GPS.
Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, even in our lifetime.
Crazy how much money those industries have. How profitable it is to make war. It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
I wish technology could be used for something other than that. I mean, it obviously is, but
war also kind of gives technology this huge boost too. Yeah, like after World War II, we all technology really took a leap after that. You know, like it and like even in the 1700s, like warships and.
Right. Now there's the smart bombs. You know, there's a camera on the front of that thing, and there's wings, and they can make the bomb fly into its target. You know.
Yeah.
And my dad was in World War II on a submarine, and he was on a periscope where they just pointed the submarine, pushed the button, fire. You know, and the torpedo would just go straight. Mm-hmm. You know, at about 4 feet deep or whatever, you know.
Right. Hope for the best. Yeah. Hope you're
And
pointing in the
just
right
yeah,
direction.
and hope that it
Right.
hit the target.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that's tough.
And he was on. You know, he actually was on the periscope watching. You know, the called in stuff.
Oh wow.
Wasn't the skipper, but he was the electronics guy that figured out the setting, the hitting.
Like to hit it on the right
Yeah.
time, like kind of lead your target,
Yeah.
like a quarterback. You know,
Yeah.
you got your guy running,
Yeah, exactly.
you want to throw it
We're
where he's going to be.
We're a half a mile away. The torpedo's going to go at 20 miles an hour.
Right.
We want to, figure it out where it'll meet it and whatever. Well, they sunk 3.5 ships.
Wow. In World War II.
Yeah.
Wow. Impressive.
But I don't know if all of them were torpedoes because some of the fights were at night with their gun on the deck.
Yeah.
Now those were Japanese ships. What would that have been?
Yeah.
He was stationed in like Hawaii, or
That was off the China Sea, off Vietnam.
Because Japan controlled Vietnam during World War II?
Well, it was all, I think they were getting oil. They were still getting, I don't know, they were getting supplies from someplace.
Yeah.
So they were there rescuing downed down pilots, down aircraft. In case someone had to ditch, they were in the zone to pick them up.
Nice.
And then sink anything you can while you're there. So.
Wow. Can you imagine your plane crashes, you're in the middle of the ocean, then suddenly like bloop, 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 this submarine just pops up like, hey, get in. You're like, oh my God.
So they would spend all day long under the ocean, and they had to come up at night to recharge the batteries with diesel engines.
Oh, no shit.
Back then,
so like
it
a
was
ship.
It was a diesel and battery operated submarine.
They'd fill off of a ship or something? They had to come up?
Terrifying.
No.
How do they fill? What do you mean? They go to a gas station?
No. Phil, they would charge the batteries at night with a diesel engine.
So they come up like to shore.
No.
Where's the diesel engine?
On their submarine. The submarine operates on batteries and diesel.
Yeah.
So
But you're out of diesel. You need to refuel.
No, they had diesel. They had enough for a month or longer, before they had to go back to this port.
Why do you, what? I'm confused. You resurface.
They say they want to hide out in the daytime, and so they're underwater.
They're underwater.
And they can't run their diesels when they're underwater.
There you go. And so you need to go up, turn on the diesel, which will charge the battery.
Right. And so they're on the surface all night long, and then
Wow, fascinating. That's crazy. You were alive during World War II? No. I knew that.
No, my parents married after
What
World
year
War
were you
II.
born?
1947, after the war.
All right. You're pretty close there. That's pretty... I mean, you grew up in the time where it's like the last big thing that happened was this war.
As a little kid, when I'm 8 years old, 10 years old, this was only 12 years after the war.
Right.
My dad had stories every night, about around the campfire, going to sleep or whatever. I get to hear another war story.
Right. All of society was in the wake of World War II.
Exactly.
Wow.
That was the first baby boom,
Right. So you were you're a boomer.
Yeah.
You're a baby boomer.
Right. All the guys came back from war that lived and got married, had kids, and that was it took off.
Wow. Does life feel more complicated now? The world, geopolitics? Maybe this is just like romanticizing the past, but sometimes I think like, man, it used to be so simple. Like we're the good guys, the Nazis are the bad guys. Easy.
Totally.
But now it's like, are we the good guys? Are we the bad guys? Who's the good guy? Who are we supposed to support in this war? I don't know. Right? It was simpler then. Would you agree?
Yeah. I see so many people getting fooled, by the people in charge.
Yeah. Or are you getting fooled maybe?
No, I got it,
You got it.
You got it. I know. You can't fool me.
When did things get confusing? Vietnam? Was that because that's a war where it was like, is this the right thing?
Actually, when Trump, it was really Trump,
Oh, that's so okay.
Because before that, he taught people. Before that, people learned we got along. He started saying that the other side are, half America is our enemy, the Democrats. So.
Yeah, I agree. The divisiveness definitely shook things up. But even invading Iraq, it's like, are we the good guys or are we the bad guys in this situation?
Yeah,
so that's
true.
well before Trump. Like geopolitics
that's
were
right.
confusing well before Donald Trump.
Right. Well,
But in the wake of World War II, or especially during World War II, it feels like it was really simple, right?
after World War II, the big Republican president was Eisenhower, and Eisenhower got along with Democrats, and they were close to the same. They weren't so far separated, and so it became separated.
And Eisenhower, when he left office, he warned about the military-industrial complex.
Did he?
Yeah, he gave a speech before he left office. Have you ever heard it? He's like, there is now a military-industrial complex that is like, I'm paraphrasing, but they need war to continue. Their whole industry requires war.
Right.
And like, watch out for this. And it was sort of like, you have World War II, so there's this entire industry of war, and now all these guys, hey, we won the war. It's like, let's keep this money coming, dude. We're not turning the lights off.
Iraq was it was the threat of weapons of mass destruction. That was a made-up phrase.
Yeah.
And it didn't exist.
Right.
But it kept the war machine going.
Keeps the war machine going. It's an entire industry, a multi-trillion-dollar industry that needs war to be profitable.
To survive.
To survive,
Yeah.
And when Eisenhower left office, he gave a speech warning the American people of the military-industrial complex. And he's a general, right? Eisenhower, he was a general.
Oh, one of the
It's pretty wild, and like I feel like that is perhaps more, even a bigger issue than the divisiveness between the two parties. It's like whether parties get along or not, there's this insanely massive industry and sort of corporate-run entity that is just war and money, war and money, war and money. And like stopping that snowball feels kind of impossible.
Seriously. When do you feel like the corporate takeover happened? Because there is a difference between like a family-owned business that's a pillar of a community and the Walmart down the street that it just continues to raise prices and take advantage of cheap labor and,
and runs the mom and pop business out of business, because they they do things cheaper, and we go buy things because they're cheaper, same product, and that just hurts the little stuff. So that just
when do you feel like that fabric shifted, or like when did this shift happen?
After internet, kind of, That's start buying, when Home Depot, when you didn't go to my local little lumber yard, I went to a gigantic thing that was owned, it had everything, and Costco, everything was big box stuff. Mm-hmm. So when all that stuff started coming around about the 90 or so.
They really sold us all on convenience,
Yeah.
Just like.
Yeah.
But convenience is nice too. Like,
sure,
I love going to fucking Home Depot or ordering something off Amazon.
And not churning it. It's great.
Yeah.
Right.
There's there's obviously an opportunity cost too. And I think part of it is like you lose skills, you lose information, like how to can your own food. You become disconnected from the things you need to do to survive. And then you become vulnerable to, all the system. And it's
100%.
I would maybe rewrite that a little if I had the pen.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing, anybody has the power to not buy things on Amazon, not shop at Home Depot, but it's like,
but it's
so convenient.
Very hard. And it is, and how can you blame a consumer for wanting to go to Walmart and spend $3 on a can of soup instead of $9 at the local deli?
But how can you blame Walmart for providing someone with a service that they want?
I blame Walmart for doing that when it comes at a human cost, when you're exploiting labor, when you're exploiting resources, when you're damaging the environment, when you're selling products that are dangerous for consumers. I believe you have a moral and an ethical responsibility to your customers beyond making money for your board members.
Yeah,
I think they're making the big money and they're paying the little taxes, and the other little guys are making a little bit of money, paying more taxes. Comparatively,
that's a little busted. That doesn't make sense to me.
And we pay taxes for what? Socialized protection from police, fire, and who needs it more than the bigger guy? So I think they don't pay the fair share.
It's fair to say.
And if they paid more, then the items would cost more, and then the little guy would have a better chance.
So what's the solution there?
I think.
I mean, if Walmart just said, we'll take a big chunk of our profits and pay it to our employees, pay our employees twice as much, would we all feel a little better? Or if they said, or if they're going to pay more taxes or something?
We kind of determined we're not going to tax them, and so it's kind of hard to now.
Right. Because they're also like a giant lobbyist.
Because it's the corporate takeover you mentioned. They have control of it. They've got a big fist on the economy, and they go, no, you can't do that to us. So
yeah.
Sure do.
The only thing people could do is just stop shopping at Walmart.
Yep.
If every human stops shopping at Walmart, Walmart goes away.
One day a week or something,
Yeah, maybe that,
Yeah, I do. I think, but that's even just further evidence of it. The fact that what we spend our money on is kind of the only thing people pay attention to.
Yeah.
And you're right. If we stop giving it to Walmart, they might all of a sudden care about the environment.
Well, they're just
Care about what's going on.
You could shut down their whole company. We could all collectively shut down Amazon and make them completely broke by never ever buying anything off of Amazon ever again. But it's like everyone's mad that Jeff Bezos is so rich. We gave him all of our money.
Yeah.
Like we keep giving him money.
Right.
I just gave him money 2 days ago. Like
right.
I'm putting all this money on him, and then I'm like, you fucking dick.
And we're happy.
Where'd you get all that money?
And we're happy to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so convenient. It's
It's
so convenient.
And it's cheaper.
Maybe in the future,
This is
like
the hamster wheel.
lack of convenience will become kind of the new. You know how like vinyl is back. Vinyl's inconvenient. You can't skip songs. You can't rewind.
All right.
But it's like there's something nice about it.
Well, there is like a trend online right now that people are wanting like trad wives, traditional wives that make bread and make everything from scratch.
Never heard that.
Don't sell their or give their kids dino nuggets. Like everything's the slow process.
That's cool.
And there is, I think, I think there are industries where you see that too. Like people are moving away from fast fashion and trying to say, go meet somebody who sews jeans and like there is it is happening. People are becoming more and more attracted to it because it's garbage. I mean, there's an entire, I think Chile is like one of the major importers of clothes. They're just dumping it in the Atacama Desert, like just tons and tons of clothing every year. Like there's so many problems with the level of consumption that this allows, I
mean, I gotta imagine like McDonald's is kind of hurting, right? In the 90s, it was like everyone eats McDonald's all the time. Are their numbers down at all?
I don't know.
Because I don't know people that really eat McDonald's. Do you still eat McDonald's ever?
I never do.
Did you in the 90s or the 80s?
No.
Oh, see, I grew up, it was like, let's go get a Big Mac. Like every now and then, it's like, let's go to
Every now
McDonald's.
and then, maybe, but it was rare.
But now it's like, ugh, I don't want McDonald's. Like, I feel like a lot of people feel that way.
People still eat fast food.
I had a $19 burger at California Pizza Kitchen today.
$19 burger.
Yeah.
How was it?
It was huge. It was like...
All right. So you got well fed for $20?
Yeah.
Do you like In-N-Out burger?
Yeah.
In-N-Out's like my favorite.
Yeah. We eat that.
Cheeseburger.
We eat that, We have that occasionally.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking when you were talking about how short-sighted Americans have become. We don't want to think about the environment because it hurts us today. We don't think about what our grandkids, what it'll be like in 100 years. And we look out the window when they see the destruction of those tornadoes and those swarms of gnats in Florida. It's all there. They can see it now. And how we don't say, well, maybe I should, cut back on use of coal and whatever that helps heat the earth, that makes that, it's all increasingly getting worse so fast.
Yeah.
It's so visible. And we don't, and people are reluctant to change.
I know, and that's where the divisiveness becomes the huge issue.
Yeah,
because it's
the Chinese aren't doing it, so why should we?
Well, yeah,
right, exactly.
Or even just like my political identity is that there's nothing wrong. So if I admit that there's a problem with polluting the environment, then I'm suddenly like betraying my identity as a Republican or something, and it's terrible.
Well, that's half of it. If you admit that the other guy's right, that says that you've been wrong all along, and people don't want to say I've been hoodwinked.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Like,
It's embarrassing.
So they'd
Totally.
rather just tie their
Oh, yeah.
identity and tie their ego to
keep-
just kicking their heels in.
Yeah.
And anytime someone says like, no, it's not real, then it's like, oh, good, okay. Someone said on TV that's not real. Like I can keep going.
Yeah.
But like,
But
is anyone saying pollution's not bad? Like pollution is bad. You know, like, okay, the climate changes over time. It has changed forever.
I think their argument is, the Earth's gonna, the Earth's
It'll be
been
fine.
around for billions of years. It's it's gonna live, but it's getting so worse so fast.
Yeah, and what
Yeah, so
happens to
bad.
the quality of life for the people
Totally.
who inhabit it? I mean, it's
Right.
just
It's going.
Yeah.
There's
And like less and less trees means like less oxygen. We need to breathe something.
well,
right?
and it's like the technology piece too, right? The damage starts to increase over time. It starts to snowball. So
Yeah.
those systems that are designed to keep homeostasis, they just kind of have a harder and harder time maintaining balance. So
Yeah, I feel like at this point with the environment, technology is actually our only chance to save it. Like something,
Fine.
like we keep
Yeah.
pushing, and that to the point where something
Hopefully.
is so technologically advanced that it can like clean up the ocean or like like you can't halt this progress. So we almost might as well just like pour everything into it. AI, nanotechnology, like you guys figure it out. Like help
Right.
us fix the world. Like because. To expect people to stop driving cars or stop burning oil or whatever. I mean, I still drive a car. I still turn on the heat, like people do it.
well, this is the problem though, because people are made to believe that it's the actions of an individual consumer to fix this. It's not you driving to work is not that's not the reason we're in the situation we're in. It's corporate greed.
It's China.
It's like mainly unregulated business practices that have like the scale of which they do destruction is so much greater than what people do.
There's too many people. I was around when they built the first freeway, the Santa Ana Freeway, from Hollywood, from L.A., downtown
That's
L.A.
wild.
to Disneyland.
That's the 5? Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is it?
It's the 5.
Yeah.
The Santa Ana Freeway.
When was the 405 built?
In the 60s?
Because that used to just be
70s,
Sepulveda.
60s, yeah. I drove it in, I don't know. Yeah, I drove it
Okay.
in late 60s, but it was mid 60s.
But the population just got to be too much.
More and more. Just driving over. I was just thinking the convenience of driving from my house, which is on my phone. I say, how do I get to Elk Street?
Yeah.
Okay, it's 14 and a half miles this way, 9.5 miles if you go that way. Okay, it's 56 minutes if you go the 9.5 miles. Mm-hmm. It's 39 minutes if you go the 14 miles, and then there's a third route too. So that's the technology gave me 3 choices to get here around Griffith Park, basically.
Right.
It's between us, and so it's like,
Yeah.
how do I zigzag to get here?
Right, right.
During the period of time when all the people are off work and going home, and so it's like, I had put up
But, like,
a 40-minute drive.
With population, though, when you fly over America or drive cross country there's a lot of room. There's so much space
Oh, I
for
know.
everybody. Like,
Yeah.
if everyone's spread out, everyone could have like 1,000-acre lot.
I mean, 1/4 of the population of the world live along the coast.
Right.
So that's just like the normal pattern of human
Yeah.
settlement.
True.
So yeah, you go into the interior of most countries and there's a lot of land, but there's reasons people don't live there,
Because it sucks.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's more intense. Like, who knows what I think, I don't know exactly why.
Is there a better place
guess-
to live than Southern California?
Hawaii, maybe.
Well, yeah, but Hawaii's remote. Hawaii's great.
Yeah.
Florida's nice, except it's got bugs,
More bugs.
and the weather's different. They have
Yeah.
hurricanes and so, we now and then have an earthquake, but we have a mild winter and a mild summer comparatively to other places. So many
Yeah.
people end up living on the coast of California.
Because the best.
And then it's the best.
easy.
And so we put up with higher taxes and higher
Sure.
gas, and the gas, and people always complaining about, we've got $1 worth of taxes on our gas. I remember in the 60s, in the afternoon, you couldn't see a couple miles for the smog. And it was bad in the morning, but by the time the afternoon came, it was the cars and the factories and all that stuff, the smoke or whatever, just the fuel waste, it ended up floating inland from the sea breezes in the afternoon. It ended up in Riverside, San Bernardino, and against the mountains, and then up, and it was choking. It was bad. Oof. It couldn't see. You know, it was a brown cloud every day of smog.
I feel like I see it sometimes still.
Still, but nothing. You know, back then,
wow,
you couldn't see. L.A. was like a fog every day.
It's hard to picture it worse. I feel like this morning I was driving and I was like, "Is this fog or is this smog?"
It is kind of rough still.
They're short. People were so short-sighted. A lot of people weren't here then, and they don't know what it was like before we had these regulations.
Yeah.
You know, if we didn't have them, it would just be, you know. I mean, I was in college in 1967 in San Diego, and the waves were really nice in front of my school. And I got out of class, and I look out, and there's nobody surfing, and these perfect 4-foot waves. And I go down the cliff with my board, and these guys are coming up choking, going, "Don't go out, don't go out." They can't breathe. I'm going, you know, what are you talking about? They're going, "Don't go, don't go." There was an inversion layer in the bottom 20 feet off the ocean where the Santa Ana wind had blown all the smog from LA down to San Diego. And it was like gas. It was like fumes from your exhaust of your car.
Oh, wow.
Down low. So I could look up on the cliff, you could look down and see perfect waves. And I got in the water, I paddled out, and I started getting short of breath. I couldn't take a deep breath. You're really short of breath, and if you go underwater, you're going to die because I can't really get a breath of air. I rode, I don't even know if I rode one wave. I got to go back in, walk up the beach. You couldn't even walk, it was so choking.
Wow.
Get up the cliff, and it's like the other guy's coming out, "Don't go out. We did the same thing, don't go out." Oh, they didn't believe us, you know. It's such a great, you know,
sure.
Above 20 feet off the water, it was a beautiful day. But down there was this like fog of poison.
So environmental regulations are
A good
necessary
thing.
and important and a good
important.
thing.
I wish they would do more. I wish
Totally,
they would be stricter.
When I put $10 with 10 gallons in my car, and I paid an extra $10 for that 10 gallons, I know every time I think it's worth it. And the short-sighted people are going, we're getting ripped off.
I was going to say, I wish more people thought like you, Randy.
Where's that money going? Why do we pay more for gas?
Oh, there's additives in
So it's different gas that we have in California.
We have California sells a different gas than Nevada and whatever.
So it's a cleaner gas of some kind.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they just charged more.
California's pretty on it in a lot of ways. Like California has the cancer warnings on products that most states do not make a requirement, which I always appreciate. Right. The reproductive harm logos that are just happily
on what kind of products, like cigarettes or other things?
Oh, no.
Things that where it's
food,
not obvious.
Like food, makeup, shampoo, all the products that were sold that are causing disease.
Yeah, that's good.
It's a little overblown. You know, it's over.
They swing far. I mean, they swing hard.
I buy a fishing line, and there's a sticker on there. This fishing line might cause cancer, you know, because it's got plastic in it or something, you know.
But I would rather...
I'm putting up with it. You know?
I would rather be...
It's good to know.
I would rather be informed and make a decision than be misled into be thinking that something's safe that isn't, or couldn't do harm when it can.
And the technology has put somebody to work to discover that it's harmful, and put somebody to work to print those little labels, you know. So
it's a job.
Yeah, somebody had to do that.
Someone had to do that. Someone's doing the graphic design.
Jobs. We got this.
Right. Don't have to do noticeable, but not take away from the brand.
Don't have to make war. You could make our society healthier. But there's jobs in that too.
I do have hope for the future. Are you optimistic about humanity? What's your feeling?
My biggest wish is that somebody in Russia leaks the PP tape.
What is the PP tape?
Russia has Trump by the two, you know, because they've got a tape of him when he was over there he's gonna build a hotel, and he's in one of their hotels, and they got everything bugged. They were, you know, they had cameras on him and all that.
Okay.
And he supposedly he likes hookers, and
sure.
And he got peed on by a hooker. There's a pee-pee tape.
I've never heard about this. Have you heard about that? This is like a theory people have.
It's a pee-pee. And so that's why he let Putin off the hook. Remember that time when I asked him, did you help me get elected? He said no, and I believed him. Oh, there's 17, the spy agencies that said that Russia helped him get elected, right? And Trump says he denies it, and he said, the day he said the day he said he asked Putin, did you help me get elected? And he said no, and I said I believe him. Of course he's going to believe. Yeah, right. They got tapes on him.
But if that was the case, you'd want Donald Trump in power because you can blackmail him so now you can do whatever you want while he's president.
Right. Yeah.
So why not invade the Ukraine during Donald Trump's presidency while you can blackmail the president of the United States and he can't help Ukraine fight you?
It didn't work then. That's something. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm curious.
Let's get the pee-pee tapes.
Let's see the tape. Let's start with the tape. Yeah. I want to see it. I mean, it would be number one on Pornhub like that.
Oh my God!
Who wouldn't?
I want to see this. I want to see the Stormy tape.
Yeah. Is there a tape? Probably a tape.
I used to work in that hotel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I
Did
hung
you
out
leave
in
a
that
camera
hotel.
there?
No.
It was like another treasure hunt. There's a camera in the ceiling of the.
No, all my girlfriends when I lived at Tahoe were cocktail waitresses at the 3 hotels that were there.
Where are these hotels? Which hotels?
Back then it was called Sahara Tahoe.
Okay.
And it's
South Lake Tahoe.
Oh, is that where
casinos
he
are.
hooked up with Stormy Daniels?
Well,
was in Tahoe?
Yeah.
They're all like right on the Nevada side, aren't
Right.
they?
Yeah, it's
so
on Nevada.
it's like where
There's
California
three.
and Nevada come together. The lake sits along both, and you just have to cross into the Nevada side to get to the casinos.
And the one on the golf course, it's changed names a few times. It was Sahara Tahoe when I was there, and then it became something else. And now I was just up there, and now it's called the Nugget.
I've gambled there. Gambled up there.
What was it called then? That hotel.
Gosh, I don't even know. I'm trying to picture it.
Yeah. So all my friends, all the girls I knew worked in that hotel, and some of them, some did some sex work upstairs.
Nice. For famous people?
Yeah. I'll leave it like that.
Good night, everybody.
It's pretty bad when one of them comes back and goes, "Yeah, I spent the night with so and so, the famous entertainer, the guy, All the girls go, really? Yeah, oh, he's horrible,
Yeah.
Wow.
What a life! What a life you've lived, Randy.
Randy.
You've done well for yourself. I mean, I feel like at the end, life is really about having a good story to tell. And you have
can't make it up because
stories.
all the stories are better than the stuff you can make up.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, this treasure hunt, man. Let's do it.
When we get off of this, let's go on Google Earth and check it out.
Hell yeah.
I haven't done
Happy
it.
to.
I haven't looked in
Cool.
a few years.
Just in case someone murders you tonight.
That's a psychic got a hold of me a couple of weeks ago. A lady she's an acquaintance of mine.
Okay.
She's contacted me a few times when she needed when canyon work had to be done. Like there's a dead deer. Can you go get it?
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm sort of the fix it guy in Laurel Canyon. She got a hold of me and she said, I had this dream. And the dream is, and don't take this lightly, or you may not want to take it at all, but you got killed, and watch out. It says you might get, not just die, but you got killed doing something at work or something with chemicals or something different. So just be careful.
Okay.
So I take it like, so I'm not afraid of anything, but I am a little more cautious now.
Good. Yeah, we need you around.
And she's somewhat of a psych. She says, "This has happened before, and it came true. So don't, so you can take it or not.
Did she say when?
Take it or leave it. Didn't say when or how. She said,
Okay.
So watch out. So I might get killed soon.
Well, I would hate for that to happen.
Me too.
Me too.
But just in case, let us know where the treasure is. And then that
maybe
way.
that's gonna kill me.
Oh no! Then don't tell us. Never tell us.
No, let's go. That's one way to go.
What a way to go. It's a good end to the
on
story.
an adventure.
Always on an adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like whatever. So it's
All right. Well,
There's a saying about that. Like, I don't want to arrive at the grave, like, unscathed and just, like, in pristine condition. I forget the saying, but there's...
If you had the opportunity to know when and how you're going to die, would you want to know?
I don't think so. It would be very paralyzing, I imagine.
I mean,
I wouldn't want to.
Because what if you were, like, falling in love with somebody, but you knew you were going to die, like, the next year? You wouldn't move forward with the relationship, or how could you have kids? There's all these things that you would just prevent yourself from doing.
It would change everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything would feel... It wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
I know. When I almost died, and I didn't, I just started living my life bulletproof. It's like nothing. It's not my time. No, it's not my time.
Yeah.
I was saved. I'll get saved again. So many times I go in to do something, and it's like, will I get hurt doing this? I might, but it's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's good.
But I'm not going to sit back and not do it just because I might get hurt.
Yeah, I
respect
agree.
that.
Yeah.
I'm always trying to be that way. It's easy to let the fear win, but you got to just keep trying to shake it off.
That's how I met Steve, running those bulls.
Right.
And all those guys were afraid of the bulls, and I pretended like I wasn't. And I'm going, I might get hurt, but I'll get famous. All these guys will see it.
It's the glory.
It's a glory. Like, let me show some huevos here,
Yeah.
And then they thought, wow, this guy's nuts. We're crazy. This guy's crazy.
Nice.
That's all. And it worked out. It keeps it open doors.
Amazing. All right. Well, Randy, thanks for doing this again. Were you going to tell a story?
No.
Okay.
No. That's it.
Thank you so much for doing this again, man. You're like our favorite.
Oh my God.
The best guests, the best stories. Yeah. Awesome.
People, I told my nephew today, he said, we're going to go do a podcast. What do you talk about? I don't know. What do we talk about?
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see
I know.
what stories come out the vault.
How do we get off on that?
I don't know, but we ended up. It's a treasure hunting story. This was
a dead Indian. I don't know. Was
amazing.
it the dead? Was it hunting? Was that it?
It was the buddy
We
with
were
the
talking
cocaine.
about hunting before.
Oh, we were talking about hunting, fishing, then hunting.
Because you brought it up with catch and release. It all started with
It all
fishing,
started
I
with the
think.
catch and release.
And my friend that got set
Tony.
up, he got set up by an acquaintance on the cocaine thing.
Okay.
So a friend of a friend
snitched
on him.
Oh.
And then I was skiing at Heavenly Valley, and I saw that guy, that we all worked with, at the casino. I saw him, and I couldn't help it. I came unglued in the lift line. There are 200 people there, and I'm screaming, and I'm yelling, and I'm pointing at this guy. He's a narc. This guy, if you know this guy, get away from this guy. This guy put my friend in jail, to save his skin. He didn't go to jail when he was caught. My friend did, and this guy should be in jail. And I was like, I was just so loyal to my buddy, and I just had to let the world know what a piece of shit this guy was.
Hey, you're a good friend.
Yeah.
Wow. The guy, the cocaine Robert.
Yeah.
He's still alive?
Yeah.
Okay. If we find the treasure, are we gonna have to give him some?
No. I don't think so, because I don't know. We might give him 10% or something. But
10%. We'll give him 10%.
Finder's fee.
No, he didn't. He
didn't find it.
No, he gave up. Those guys gave up.
They gave up.
One guy moved to Arizona.
That's what losers
guy,
do.
Yeah, the ultimate give up.
One guy, Big Tony, he went back to Alaska, I think. I don't know. The guy, he never took his sorrels off for 9 days.
If we find it,
Oh my God.
what is it? You get 50, we'll split the other 50. You get 80, we split 20. How does it work?
It's 50-50.
50-50. You want 50%?
Yeah. I know where it is.
Well, yeah.
It was just you and I going in there.
She might come.
We don't need a cook. She can make sandwiches for us.
I'm a good tracker. I'm very in tune with the natural environment. I have a good sense of
But
direction.
we'll be a family. You get 50%,
Okay.
and we'll
I know.
we'll be a family 50.
Yeah, family 50. There you go.
Wow.
He's got the eyes. He's got good looking
Yeah.
eyes. Like he's good too.
Okay.
I'm a good finder.
So we go find this thing, We end
Yeah.
up with a bunch of rocks. It's full of gold and whatever. Then what do we do?
crash.
Do we crush it and
Break
melt
'em.
it?
We got to just take it to somebody who knows what to do.
And then what?
Then they might
Do
steal
do
some.
we pay taxes on
Cash
it?
it out.
We pay taxes on it? We
Maybe.
let the world know about it? We write a movie?
I mean, well,
You take
first
it to a
we
local
first we
jeweler,
get
start
our money. We get the
casting
money
it.
in the bank.
how do we get the money? You got to.
I mean, you got to sell gold, right? Maybe you got to pay taxes. Yeah, but
So-
is there
Listen,
some
you guys,
like
we'll
would
figure
someone
it out
take
one step
historic
at a time.
claim of it? If you
Once-
find gold, you can have it, right?
Do we have to
Yeah.
make a claim? And then it's ours? But
I
then,
don't know. I don't know how
then
it
we got
works.
claim jumpers, it's near the Indians and stuff. Or do we just go in there and just take a little out at a time? And we become miners then? And
But what can we do with a little gold? You can't buy something with gold.
I know. No,
No,
you have to process
I think
it.
we should take as much as we can if we find it.
If we find it, we take it all.
I
Get it-
mean,
get it
maybe
all
not
out of there.
all, but
No, we take it
Get
all.
it out of there.
And
most
then,
of it. Some of it.
Then we go to a gold guy with just a little bit, and we say,
Right.
"What can we do here?"
Like,
yeah, what do we do?
I found
How do
this.
we,
I found
how
this.
do we
What do I
get
do with
this?
this?
That's what that Indian did. And they said, you got, fuck, this is rich.
And then we're like, well, you wait till you
Yeah.
see what else we
All
got.
right. He goes, great, let's go drinking. And,
So don't go drinking. That's
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the only thing we shouldn't do.
Right.
Okay.
Go drinking after. Wait till the money's in the bank, then we'll go drinking.
right.
All right.
And if we don't go drinking, then we can spend it wisely.
Yeah. Invest it. Make
Right.
it in gold.
I think we could come up with some solutions.
Much better solutions if you're not drinking it.
That's right.
I would think so.
Today, I
We
am.
want full cognitive capability.
Oh, see, they're already after us.
Monday,
Yeah, right.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Today, I am 20 years and 4 days sober.
Wow.
Amazing.
Amazing.
So I can make much better decisions today than I could 20 years and 5 days ago.
That's
Yes.
great.
And when you first started looking for the treasure, you were not
Oh
sober.
my God, no.
That cold beer sign?
No, we had.
That's not distracting
we
us
had
this
liquor.
time.
That's
we
right.
took liquor in here with us,
Yeah.
some other stuff, and we had a little. We'd do a shot every night. We didn't drink it all the whole bottle at once, We just did a little, and then at the end, we walked out to that beer bar, and we
Just go in.
oh my God,
Man, 20 years, Randy. That's impressive.
That's great.
It's a long time.
well, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yeah, we gave up alcohol. It's been almost a year for
Yeah.
us too.
Yeah.
August. Well, no.
I mean,
June
we've
for
had
me.
like sips here and there. It's not like
Okay.
a strict,
But,
but we
no.
basically don't drink.
Yeah, but we
without
changed our lifestyle.
Yeah, without the program, but you got it still. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah. Without the program, we just,
yeah.
it's not like
Oh, it's great.
a strict thing, but
Nice.
yeah, like we were at a Mexican restaurant the other day and we like split a beer, which
Wow.
like, and then we just left it at that. We split one beer.
Yeah, it was a nice
delicious.
treat. It
And
was- But yeah, just
Well,
I think
that's it.
Yeah, the major reframe of like we don't drink.
That's wow.
On
That's
a,
a wow.
We
That's a
don't
big
drink on
wow.
a regular basis. Yeah.
yeah, it's changed a lot. It feels good.
Amazing. Didn't know that, but
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's cool.
Cool.
All right.
All right.
Randy, I love you. Thank
I love
you.
That's great.
Put me inside.